Very close. Hello.
Hello.
Let's see. I'm just going to give everyone a minute to log on. Let's see. Oh, I can't see you all. Try to mute yourself. Yuri, Valerie, Tatiana. Some of you I can't mute. You have to mute yourself. Doris, I can't mute you either. It's getting, okay, good. It's getting quieter, but I can hear some background noise. So still Tatiana, Doris, and Valerie. You're still not muted. Oh, there, I can now mute you. For some reason, it takes a minute sometimes to pop up for me. Okay, it sounds quiet to me. All right, 16 people, we rock. Welcome to the first class of Art Appreciation. When you get my email, which hopefully you did, and it came from my personal email, but that's okay. It's a new system I'm trying to figure out. I have to email you all through the website, my website, and then it makes a group, and then for some reason it connected to my email, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is the front page that you get to. So for some reason you don't get my email, I don't know why I can't see all of you. And I usually can see you all, but I'm getting more background noise. Trying to figure out who it is. It's either Doris or Tatiana or that's it. Okay. All right, back to the class. So if you, for some reason, don't get my email, you can always go to just the regular website, and here's the same information right here. And then if you go to lessons, you can hover over lessons and then scroll down, or you can click lessons, but it actually isn't hyperlinked yet, so it won't go to the page. I also put it in the email, so it should be fine. You should be able to get it through the email as well. And then when you get here, you get a website page, which is myself, Hieronymus Bosch and Dana Shutz today. So both of these artists are pretty interesting in the fact that they're kind of mysterious people. I couldn't find a lot on their actual lives. So Hieronymus Bosch was born in the 15th century in in Holland, and we're not even sure that that's where he was born, but they are sure that that's where he lived, married, and worked. So that's about it. That's all we know about him. We know that he's an artist. We know that he was a painter. Banging dishes in the background. So this is the main problem with this, guys, is that I don't have a way to mute all of you when you come on. So you've got to figure out how to mute yourselves, because we can hear everything behind you. Okay, so let me get to my PowerPoint here. So up here, this drawing of Hieronymus Bosch was actually made several years after he was dead. So we don't even know that that's what he looks like.
Katie, so we don't get it. We don't see anything. Oh. We just see you.
Okay. There you go. So now we have, now you can see it. Hieronymus Bosch up in the corner here. we don't even know if that's what he looks like. That was drawn several years after he died. We know that he was commissioned for a lot of paintings, and those paintings are not the paintings that he's known for now. He's known for his private paintings that he did for his own joy, and we'll take a look at those. Down below, we have Dana Shutz, who is a fairly young, mid-40s, I believe, female artist living and working today in New York City. I don't know her, but she is married to a man. She's from Michigan. She went to Ohio for her undergrad, and then she went to Columbia for her master's degree. And so she's been in New York since about 1990, I believe. She is a strange character. They both make very strange paintings. So unfortunately, this painting, which is the most famous painting of Bosch, this is the Garden of Earthly Delights, which depicts the Adam and Eve scene, and then believed to be earth, and then believed to be death or hell on the other side. So there's a lot of interpretations about this painting. I'm going to show you a few very interesting details to get you thinking about what's going on here. So there is a bird, a giant bird with a cauldron on its head, eating a man. And there are birds flying out of his bum, and there are a lot of really strange depictions going on here. A few things that we can take note of. Again, this is a zoom in on one of the parts of the paintings of the Earthly Delights when things are going wrong. So you can imagine first we had Adam and Eve in the first piece, and then we had the middle section back here. So over here, there's Adam and Eve with Jesus over here. And then in the middle, we have this Garden of Earthly Delights. We don't know a lot of things that are going on, but we do know that there's a lot of figures in here. They're coming out of these very strange, some people would say alien-like shapes. Some people call this the Fountain of Youth. Other people call it an alien ship that landed. So there's a lot of ideas about what these things are here. But just to give you an idea, this painting lives in Spain, in the main museum. I can't remember what it's called. Prado? Anyway, so you can see very interestingly during the Renaissance period, the style was extremely smooth, velvet looking. You wanted the smoothest stuff you could get. He is showing brushwork. I mean, these are very tiny details that are very much zoomed in right now, but you can see the looser brushwork that he's doing, things like on the arm here. He's really willing to let paint be paint. Here's another example from the third panel, I believe, or a different painting, that is when things are starting to go wrong. There's envy and gluttony. So he's going through all those things in the painting where the human beings start, eating the apple or tasting the fruit or the alcohol and all the things, the earthly pleasures that some people think you're not supposed to partake in, and then you go to hell. I mean, this is a Catholic point of view of this painting, of the depiction of this painting, but we definitely know that there's Jesus and Mary and Jesus in the first panel. But what's going on here? Let's unpack this moment a little bit. There are monsters and fantastical characters in these paintings. Now, this is considered some of the first surrealism that ever happened. This is 500 years ago, and he is painting these paintings. This is a very strange thing. We don't understand it. We really don't know how to unpack this painting. So there's several theories. One is that he's depicting aliens coming down and landing in the middle, and that's what started humanity. Another one is that it's a cult, like think of the Da Vinci Code, like a very paganistic sort of sex cult, and that is what he's depicting, that he was a member of one of these cults, and therefore that is what he's depicting. Another idea is that these are pieces of astrology. They're depicting astrology in the paintings, based on the stars. Another idea is that they are folk tales, and that they're all derived from different stories from Holland, plus Catholicism stories. So you can wrap your head around that and decide what it is. But as I was breaking this down and thinking about it, I was thinking about when I make a painting, I'm not made of one idea, and neither is my painting. There's my spirituality, there's my political beliefs, there's my ethnicity, there's my education, there's my years of education and composition and all those things that come into it. And so when I'm making a layered painting with different ideas, I'm not just including one idea, I'm including layers of ideas, right? So what if it's more than one? That's my idea. Anyway, this is a really interesting detail in the Garden of Earthly Delights. There is so much to see. There are these people in bubbles. There are people in these pod-like, flower-like, seed-like formations, and there's a tube and a mouse coming into it, and we're really witnessing people sort of emerging from these interesting fruit-like, alien-like shapes. There's a lot of fertility things happening. There's flowers and plants and greenery. So really experiencing, but look, it's like these people are coming from these like alien looking fruit-like pods to me, and there's glass in them, almost like a spaceship, and they're looking out and they're sort of like landing and coming out of them. So almost like humans are landing. I don't know. All right, Dana Shutz. She is painting ideas that are hard to describe in a moment. So she's painting from her imagination. She's painting, remember Philip Guston? If any of you looked at Philip Guston, she definitely loves Philip Guston. I can see that eye. Coming in, the shapes, the curliness, the roundness, the almost, there's a little bit of cartoon likeness. We can think of Catherine Bradford as well. So this is a new movement that's happening in New York as we speak right now. She is one of the founders of this movement. I'm calling it a movement, I don't know. But it's like the new figurative movement to me, because what's happening is these figures are all made from the imagination. So I have a lot of people I know, including Catherine Bradford, I don't know her, but a lot of people who are making paintings of figures completely from imagination and from coming up with an idea or a story of what's happening. So like this is her painting and she's trying to figure out her ideas, and they're all like piling up on this mountain here. Then again, just to unpack another, really, these paintings don't really go with the rules of composition. You don't really know where to look. There's so many places to look, and you kind of have to go through it inch by inch and really dig into every section of these paintings. There's always really a lot of animals interacting with human beings. So in this case, a snake is about to bite this girl. In this case, there's a lizard thingy over here attacking a man who's tied up. It's almost like these animals are like leading the people who are now the slaves. It's almost like the world has gone bad and now the animals are ruling the slaves. We see Jesus over here on the cross, but then there's these characters that are not of this world, right? Like this Birdman guy, but he has human hands. If any of you have theories or ideas of what you think these paintings are about, leave it in the comment section on the comment page, because maybe you know something I don't know. Although I watched a lot of people's different videos and they all had completely different ideas about what it was about. And they all seemed to say it as if it was the most correct thing, that it was the law, but we all know that it wasn't. Okay, so she started doing these paintings of, so also my theme is just like this weirdness of the psyche of the human while describing the human in paintings. So the figuration, they're figurative paintings, but they're also not really of this earth. So this is a painting of people taking off their body parts and creating a new body. They're building a body out of their body parts. That's what we're looking at here. Obviously, there's a table. It's broken in half. There's a woman with 2 feet who's like given up her arm and is attaching it to the body of the head. She's coming up with these really odd scenarios. And she starts with an interesting, like, okay, well, what if this, whatever, I don't even remember what the beginning point was. Well, what if I paint people eating themselves? So then she had like all these people eating themselves. And then she's like, well, what if they're building a body? What if they're making a body? So then she just takes her idea and she pushes it and gets it to this point that's not really of this earth anymore. And neither is this. This is not of this earth, but it's human beings. So we know that humans are on the earth sometimes, but they're also, this looks like depictions of being in hell. It looks like going to heaven or hell. These ones are walking towards the light. These ones are in the depths of darkness and despair. And all these little moments in between, we have fantastical characters that we've never seen before. We know that they're not of this planet. They're very much from his imagination or from maybe other things that we don't know about yet, because there's obviously a lot that we don't know about. You know that only like 10% of the rainforest has been actually discovered and walked through. They're discovering pyramids all the time. There's just so much stuff. We don't even know what the pyramids mean, you know? There's so many things that we really have no idea. So again, she's dealing with the figure, but some of them are more real. Like the one on the right, she's depicting her in the swim team, and she said she was really bad at it. And she was actually on like the like second worst team or something. So she's just describing herself in that moment. But then there's also, for example, on the left, she's using the paint quality. You can see a lot of really thick paint on the left down at the bottom. I can't remember if this girl's like eating a body or throwing up or like sneezing or something. She did a series of sneezes, people sneezing, just moments that are hard to catch. Like she did a painting of what it looks like the flash right before you die, but she was like thinking of paintings that you can't show someone what it looks like right before you die, right? So we really don't know. So how do you describe that in a painting? Again, over and over, we're seeing a very complex composition with a lot of figures where we know that there's not one narrative happening, but a lot of narratives happening, which then maybe also are part of a larger narrative. Again, we see these animals, which are sort of controlling and treating the human beings as slaves. So in the earlier things, the humans were emerging, they were drinking, they were eating, they were doing copulating, whatever they were doing together. They were in bubbles and weird pod houses. They were emerging onto the earth with the greenery and the beautiful flowers and butterflies. And now we've got a whole other scenario. They're pushing people into these cages and choppers, and they're tied up and they're being attacked and brutalized. So, and there's also like head figures. It's mostly a head with a body, and that's speculated to be part of something story-wise, fairy tale story-wise, linked to those things. Here we see Dana painting several figures walking together, maybe like warrior-like or something. But we know that they're humans again, but we don't believe that this is a real life situation. Same as in the paintings of Hieronymus Bosch. We don't believe that it's not like the paintings of Velázquez painting the court, right? They're figure paintings, but they're fantastical figure paintings. This is my last one. This one reminds me a lot of Kyle Staver's painting of, not Icarus, but the one where he's like, the eagle's tied to a rock, the guy's tied to a rock. I'll show you next time. Anyway, so this is also a close-up of Adam and Eve and Jesus in the first panel I showed you of the Garden of Earthly Delights. And so again, just to see the quality, these are very tiny. You know, these figures are like this big on the painting. It's not a huge painting. If you've seen the painting in Spain, please let me know. I would love to understand what your experience was like. Truthfully, I think I went and I saw it, but I was 18 and I didn't know what I was doing. Oh well. And I've never seen Dana's work in person, but it is large. She's making huge, ambitious 15 by 10 foot kind of paintings. So, and a lot of the panels that we've seen today of Hieronymus Bosch are triptych style, and then they also close, and then there's a painting on the outside as well. So what I want to show you here quickly, if you go to this group of, I'm just gonna expand this out so that because, and I'm gonna ignore him, but you should really watch this piece. But what I want to do is just let this play while, oh, please bring your shared window to the front. What? Sorry, hold on. Share. There we go. Okay. So what I want to do is just have you, so you can really see how this looks as I'm talking, and sort of unpack this massive thing. I would love to know how long this took him to paint. And it's in pretty good shape because it is oil on wood. So we're looking at 3 different panels, and okay, so now here he's showing you exactly what those panels on the outside look like, and he does several of these and it's grayscale on the front and it's color on the inside, so it's pretty amazing. And too bad that the way they have it displayed, I think, is open, so you can't see the back side of it. Unfortunately, it would be, maybe it's in the video I saw, it was on the wall, but maybe they've moved it to sort of a glass thing now. So this is the Fountain of Youth, or maybe it's not, maybe it's an alien ship. I don't know. But yeah, so he's, you know, we're dealing with something not of this earth. We're dealing, I mean, we know these things are of this earth, but they're also not, because the sizes are off, you know, exactly, a giant strawberry. But you can, this is a short video, it's 2 minutes long, and he says some really great things in it. So I hope you take the time to just watch. There's the zoom in that we did right there of the bird and the guy. I think we did another zoom in of this part right here. Or maybe that's actually a repeating form, that body, home, egg, very much like Salvador Dali. You can see that Salvador Dali was influenced by him. Anyway, so if you have any questions at this point, you can type into the chat box if you want to, or if you want to say any comments about either of these artists in the chat box, now would be a good time to do it. And you can see he makes some nice comparisons as well in this video. So there you go. Now you've seen the whole piece. Pretty cool. So please go to the comment section after class. It's right here. You simply click on the top. You wait a minute for it to load because there are a lot of comments on it, and so it takes a moment. And then you can double click anywhere on the blue part and it'll come up with a new box for you to type something. Notice how it says anonymous here, so you need to write your name so we know who you are, or you can create an account, but you don't need to. This way you can share a photo by clicking the camera, or you can share a link, or you can upload something else if you want to. Or just leave a comment and tell me which artist you liked more, or what you thought the comparison, what was interesting about it, anything. Or make me a crazy painting or drawing that is similar to this fantastical figures theme. That's all I have for today, folks. I hope you enjoy the rest of the lesson online. You can go to the link again. Here's the weekly topics. Soon you'll be able to click on those. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But for right now, you have to hover over the lessons, click on the lesson, or simply click through your email. Then you can enjoy some lovely articles about him, a couple of videos I liked, and then some reference images. And same for Dana. You can see those as well. A couple images, some interviews, some photos. Very cool stuff. I'm excited about both of these artists. Super inspiring for me today to learn about them. It's always great to be a teacher because I get to learn so much first. All right. Thank you all for joining me. See you next week. Same time, same place. You'll get an email Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, I have some chats. So yes, Doris, there are, the question is, are there any of these artists work on display local? No, for Hieronymus, probably the Met and Spain. And for Dana, I know she has collections in LACMA and the Met, and I don't know, we'll have to look it up. I haven't looked actually to see if she has any shows coming up, but probably in Los Angeles somewhere. She's definitely in MoCA collection, Met collection, Gagosian. It says it in her profile, actually. Let's see. Museum of Modern Art, Whitney, Museum of Fine Art, Boston, Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles. So that's the MoCA, which is now free. So you can call the MoCA and say, hey, do you have any Dana Shutz paintings out? And if you don't, can you pull them out? Can you show us one? And they will usually, and it's free. So there you go. You can go to LA and see one in person. Awesome. That's it. Have a great day. Oh wait, here's another comment. Ba-bum. Was Shutz inspired by Bosch? Why that particular comparison? A lot of times she probably was. I didn't hear her specifically say that. She talked about more contemporary artists. However, there's not a lot of artists who are using 100% of their imagination to create figurative works. And so that was the comparison, that they both have these imaginative qualities in their heads, and they're able to make these really, for better or worse, like extremely wild good and extremely wild bad, not bad, but like hard subjects. But they're really taking on these really strange subjects that most people wouldn't even think to take on. So the theme is really fantastical characters. Oh, great. So there's a Bosch at the Balboa Museum of Art as well. And I don't know if there's more Hieronymus Bosch. So Marina says there is Bosch at the Balboa Museum of Art. So the comparison is for fantastical characters. There's not a lot of people who can pull these things straight out of their imagination. One other person that I thought of comparing them to is Marianela de la Hoz, who is she's here in San Diego or Tijuana, and she paints her nightmares. I got to see her do a talk at the San Diego Museum of Art as well. So there are people, who do that sort of thing, but I like to pick artists who I want to learn about, who I think you want to learn about. And then if there's specifically someone asked for Hieronymus Bosch, so then I went and looked for someone who I thought I could find comparisons to. They don't always make that much sense. Sometimes I just want to do certain artists. But in this case, I think it makes a lot of sense. Anyway, okay, I'm done. Have a good day. Stop share and meeting.